Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Strange Lore, a tale of lore that is strange, and also strangers full of lore. My name is Philip. I'm the Strange Master on this show.
Absolutely not.
Which has been objected to in every session by the players. Really wish I had a different name.
We need a better name. Someone come up with a better name, please.
Well, Lore Master's right there.
So do that!
But I chose to not go for the lore hanging fruit.
Hey.
Pretty happy with that. But joining me is players. Say hello, players.
Hello.
Player. Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to our game. Well, this is another one of our sort of solo ones, and unfortunately, it's like we're kind of. It's been a while since we've been able to visit with Louise and Cora in this game because of just scheduling issues and such. But we did make it to a rather, major beat there. So in today's game, we are once again jumping to a different time period. Now, I didn't want to spring this fully on you, live, but we have two options for our thing today. But I would love for you to roll a d13, and if you roll a d13, it might be something else.
Oh no.
That's how I like to do it. And hello, James from Texas. Nice to see you.
I rolled a 5.
You rolled a 5.
Yes.
So 5 is an odd number, which means we're going to the 1990s as opposed to an even number, which would be the 1960s.
Okay.
So with a 5, we're going to be setting this in the 1990s, and I sort of so if you've seen these before, if you're watching this later on, you notice that we sort of do things where we've rolled for different time periods in this sort of world. We've glimpsed ahead into the 70s, where we saw Lauren portraying an actress named Vera, who didn't get cast in the Meridian movie, but then that movie was bad, so maybe that was good for her. We went to the 80s, where we saw them creating a huge company-defining crossover where they changed everything and sort of redefined the character of Meridian from the Top Flight world, because that's kind of the weird thing about this, is basically that this game exists in the world where all the comics from the Top Flight games are published as comics. So, I don't know why I do things like this. I just do.
You like to make it as complicated on yourself as possible.
Yes, but also on everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, on me for sure. There's some real deep weird stuff going on. So, to that point, since we did the 90s, I had some ideas for what the 90s would be. So Liv, one, let's come up with a name for you for today.
Oh.
And if you want, I can roll my alphabet ring to determine the first letter of your name.
What were popular girls' names in the 90s?
Well, I mean, it would have been popular, but it would have been the popular names of, because you probably won't be a kid. You'll probably be like it's the popular names of the early 80s probably. James from Texas says Lauren, which honestly was a very popular name, but would be too confusing.
There were Rachel's, Amanda.
Amanda? All right.
And Amanda. I feel like Amanda was a very popular name for kids.
Love it. Okay, you are Amanda. Now, we're going to be... I'll go ahead and tell you what this is about, so you can change your name to Amanda and such. I'm going to tell you that today's game is going to be about... this is for Top Flight fans. You may really care about this. For everyone else, you'd be like, I don't even know who these characters are. This means nothing. We're going to be behind the scenes of the Fireflight cartoon from the 90s. Bloodstar was, of course, this incredibly popular sort of like Deadpool before he was sort of like a joke, basically. Bloodstar was he was kind of like an early 90s comics boom, ultra-violent guy. And he was very popular. Bloodstar, the sort of Bloodstar Volume 2 #1 was a huge seller, and he was on a team called Fireflight, where they were kind of the more sort of, Rob Liefeld shoot lots of bullets version of Top Flight.
That's funny, because I do fire and flight.
There you go. So it's basically Fireflight. So, there are a few people you could be for this, and we could also set this at varying times of the development. So, and this is kind of what we do with Lord, we sort of jump around. So, you could be a voice actor on this program. You could be on the writing staff. You could be a more visual designer. Or you could be someone at, like, the network who's, you know, like, giving them notes on their pilot or whatever.
Oh, man. The network thing is kind of appealing.
I think you should be a network executive. What's your last name?
Oh, shitty. Amanda Olsen.
Olsen. Are you an Olsen? Are you an E-N or an O-N?
Let's do E-N.
Olsen. All right.
Then.
You're a network executive. All right. That means we give you a -40 penalty to empathy.
That seems accurate.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. So you're going to be now, and the last question we'll say here for Miss Amanda Olsen, or for, actually, this is not for Amanda. This is for Liv. Should we do this? Is this before the show has premiered, or is this a later season thing? Like, facing, like, is this going to be about, you know, why they canceled it or something? Tell you what, roll a d10.
Okay. I like the idea of it being early because they, like, don't take it seriously, so they put the girl in the network in charge.
Okay, sure. From the kids division of the thing, yeah.
I rolled a 7.
7. That would be 97. But if you'd rather do early, let's go.
Let's do early.
We'll do earlier. Okay, cool.
I would rather do early.
So we'll say you're a network executive, and you're I'm just gonna quickly just give you some points. You will have some sort of points that you can sort of spend on some things here. I'm gonna just kind of, you know what? We're just gonna give you to that. So if you know, before making rolls, you can give yourself a little boost. These are kind of one-off things, so most people tend to just go crazy with it because who cares? What does it matter? We'll never see Amanda Olsen again. Except what if we do? What if she becomes a huge deal? So we're gonna say the year in that case is, let's say it's 1990. Let's say 93. Okay. And you were Amanda Olsen. Should we, you know, this is a thing I actually really should have thought of. I thought of a lot of the options for this, and I didn't think of the following. What network is this on? Are we going to say that this is on an actual are we going to create a fictional network? Wait. We are. Oh, shoot. Except, oh my god, wait, Liv, hold on. We're about to dictate something huge about things that might happen. Because if you remember, the owner of Premier Periodicals, Mr. Ullman, was trying to buy up a bunch of radio stations and burgeoning TV stations in the 40s.
Okay.
So, shoot. So is this basically just on CBS after Garfield? Or is this on a fictional network that exists in this world because he was successful in that? And I think, please roll a D100 if you have it.
Okay.
Oh, actually, wait, before you do anything else, can you roll 3d6?
5, 6, 5.
5, 6, 5. That's a great roll. 16 times, yeah, that's 80, right? 16 times 5?
Yes.
My math is okay. So now, please roll a D100.
$77.
77 for a luck roll is typically not good. But you had an 80. So that means I was basically having Amanda Olsen to roll on the luck of this. You are a network executive for a new network. I mean, it's a network that actually has been around for a long time, but there's an additional network in this alternate world is the point.
Got it.
So let's see. There's ABC, NBC, CBS. Those were really the only ones. There was DuPont in the 50s.
Wasn't WB around in the 90s?
WB would be around. Well, no, actually not at this point. WB didn't come around until like 96, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, can we be the BW?
Well, you're going to be something because his company was called Premier.
Oh.
So I'm trying to decide if it is, because it can't be like PBC.
PMS.
PMS, Premiere Motions. Yeah. It'll be, 95 at launch. Sorry. Okay, so let's call it, let's call it P... Is PNN too stupid? Premier National Network?
No, I think that works. PNN, Premier National Network.
Or is PBC too stupid to be just like NBC? National Broadcasting Company, American Broadcasting Company, Premier Broadcasting Company? They probably wouldn't have called it that.
Premier Broadcasting Company, PBC?
PBC? Isn't that
Yeah.
kind of plastic?
That sounds like it would be something.
PBC is Premier Boxing Champions. Okay.
I think PBC seems reasonable.
Okay. See, this is the kind of stuff. This is what happens in these. I'm so into. This is the stuff I'm the most into.
I know. We all do. I like
Okay.
PBC.
Ooh, PBN.
PBN works.
I love the PBN.
Premier Broadcasting Network. PBN.
Premier Broadcasting Network. All right, so 1993, the Premier Broadcasting Network. Amanda Olsen is an executive, but here's the thing: Amanda Olsen is not really high up at this place. What Amanda Olsen is she is an executive at Fox. It was just called Fox Kids. There was ABC's One Saturday Morning.
They put the woman in charge of the thing they cared about the least.
Yeah. CBS Kids Show, it was called. CBS Kids TV. Kid TV. PBN Junior.
Yeah, PBN Junior.
Okay, cool. We'll call it the PBN Junior was the Saturday morning lineup. Okay. So, Amanda Olsen, let's think about her for a moment before we, and again, everyone, these games sometimes aren't quite as RP. They're kind of like we're going to do some RP, but we're also going to do some random coming up with character stuff.
We're just building a story.
Building out a story here. So, Amanda Olsen, let's think about who she is. It's 1993. How old is she as 93? I think she's got to be at least probably like 30.
Yeah.
How old do you want to be? What year were you born?
Let's make her 29.
Oh, you want to be young. So you want to be young for the job.
Well, just below 30, right?
If she's 29 in 93, this means she was born in 92, or 62. She's Gen X. She just made it.
Just made it with Gen X.
I think Gen X starts in 61, 62, right?
Something like that.
God, she's so goddamn cool. Oh my god, Friends is basically about her.
Yes.
Okay, so Amanda Olsen, young woman, working at PBN. How long has she been at PBN Junior? Is this a new position, or we're gonna say that her sort of role of kind of greenlighting a show, or like shepherding a show like this is a new thing. But was she working at other parts of PBN before? Was she at a different network? What do you think? Where was her sort of?
I think she probably started within Premiere somewhere.
Okay.
And then transferred into the network started at Premiere fresh out of college, then transferred into the network, and maybe she has like an uncle or something, and it's part of how she got to where she.
So because the idea here is that you are a very young person to have a job like this, but you are on just like the Saturday morning stuff that like no one really, it's kind of
right.
like.
Exactly.
And fun fact that you probably know, but I'll say to any viewers, whether live or later, federally mandated that you have like educational children's programming. This is back when it kind of still mattered. Saturday morning cartoons were a federally mandated thing by the FCC. And that were effectively, now they also were supposed to be, but like that's why, especially in sort of the 80s and such, well, actually pre-80s is when Reagan kind of stuff started caring, but up to that point, like that's why like things were so cheesy with like such like like after school special type messages and all stuff, is because you were required by the in order to operate broadcast on the airwaves, the US government says you can do that, but it has to serve the public good, which means you have to show programming to children to promote American values and such.
I had no idea that was the case.
Yeah. And then by the 80s, what they were doing is they were saying, look at all our educational programming like Transformers and G.I. Joe. And then by the 90s, cable was beginning to sort of burgeon up, and then it's like the kids, So anyway, a little fun fact.
Fun facts
So,
with Philip.
you've been working at Premiere out of college. You have been promoted to this, but I guess my question is, were you like working in other departments, or were you fairly immediately shunted into kids cartoon programs?
Oh, right. Like they shoved the woman into kids because women take care
in this era, there would have been. We're not quite at the point, there would be fewer women, but there'd still be some. I think there were women pretty high executives.
Being young as I am.
Young for sure. Okay.
They threw me over in the kids program, and they're like, I'll throw over there.
Okay, so you had some successes with kids programming up to this point. There was a popular show that will say that you spearheaded. Maybe I don't know, what's a late 80s, early 90s style cartoon we want to pastiche here?
Care Bears.
Care Bears? Great.
Something like Care Bears.
What's it? Yes, Care Bears, Smurf, some kind of cute thing that's a thing.
Some sort of cutesy.
What animal we want to go with?
Okay. Let's do koalas.
There was a koala cartoon that I used to watch as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Sorry, Toby was eating a shoe. Ugh.
It was called Blinky Bill.
Okay, well, I've never heard of Blinky Bill, but let's do something with koalas.
That's fine.
I didn't know there was a koala show.
Let's call it Cool Koalas.
Cool Koalas. Oh, that's perfect with a K.
Yeah.
Cool koalas.
Yeah. So you sort of champion that, and that has become a big driver of it's highly rated and is successful. So Amanda Olsen is considered someone who has some good, instincts in the kid space. Did Amanda Olsen maybe sort of somehow get some kind of kick? I mean, I'm sure she doesn't have percentages, but she might have gotten some kind of little kickback for, from the toy manufacturing, because that's where all the money was in this day.
Oh,
also,
sure.
Guys, in honor of Easter, I do have a Cadbury cream egg that I'm going to eat, just because.
Oh yeah, I have one in my purse.
I prefer the Cadbury Scream Egg. You ever had those at Halloween?
No, I mean, I'm sure they exist.
They're green.
I gathered. I assumed.
But I don't think they have a yolk. It's just all green inside, whereas these are
They have the yolk. These are smaller though, They used to be bigger when we were kids.
I think you're right.
They are smaller.
Even so, God bless the Easter Bunny. I'm so glad he rose out of that tomb.
You mean Jesus's persona? Easter Bunny is just Jesus's persona.
Yeah. Well, in any case, okay. So I understand Amanda Olsen. So that means that when Amanda Olsen receives a pitch from people who say there is a incredibly popular new comic book that we want to make at this company. Oh, fucking A. Never mind. I'm mildly altering what we're doing, okay? I'm mildly altering this because I hadn't accounted for the idea that this is at PBN.
Okay.
Also, we have now dictated that Ullman is going to be successful in the end. Okay. Wait, no, we haven't. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Everyone, I'm so sorry. But this is just how these games go together because I think I thought of something. Okay, I'm going to give you a peek inside of this, okay?
Okay.
PBN is a network founded by the man who was creating, by Mr. Ullman, who was the owner of Premier Periodicals, the company that Louise and Cora work at in the 1940s. We know that Al Starr winds up gaining control over the comics portion of that company.
Okay.
It is called Superstar Comics, and in the 60s it becomes one of the big three along with Marvel and DC. Here's the question. Do those companies remain linked the way that DC has been a subsidiary of, Warner Brothers for a long time, and now Marvel is a subsidiary of Disney and such? Were they linked the whole time? Or when Al Starr split off, did those companies divorce themselves? And now the idea of you doing a thing for this company that 60 years ago spun off of this, the broader, conglomerate that your network is a part of, is there controversy to that? Or is this a slam dunk? That's interesting.
Do we roll for it?
Yes, we do. Please roll a D100. But before we do so, what do you what is more interesting to you?
I mean, conflict's always more interesting.
Conflict's more interesting. All right. So, let's go ahead and make a luck roll. But you can use Amanda's luck.
55.
55. You have achieved a success.
Okay.
So in this case, these companies are not one and the same. And in fact, because you said conflict is interesting.
Conflict is more interesting.
You have received a pitch, or you have heard about a pitch. Oh, okay. This is probably going to be way less fun because you're probably not going to be necessarily talking animators and getting to have real analogs to the X-Men, old cartoon, whatever. But
that's fine.
Here's what's going down. All right, so
okay.
Amanda Olsen. The year is 1993. Jurassic Park is sweeping the nation. Various cartoons are debuting on your sort of stuff. I believe X-Men and Batman have both come out at this point. I think they both debut in 92. So the idea of a comic book thing is a hot commodity. You've even received pitches for some other Marvel shows that will eventually go into being like Iron Man and Armor Wars or Armor Squad. God, what was that cartoon? Was it just called Armor? No, Armor. Anyway, the point is, this doesn't matter right now, Philip. The point is, you have received a pitch. No, you've not received a pitch. You have heard about a pitch being put together for a cartoon that they're probably planning on selling into syndication, although they're open to a network picking it up. That would be easier, but it's being financed by an independent company right now. In fact, it's being financed. Oh shit, this could be huge. It's being financed by Superstar's own, in-house money,
Okay.
Some weird, Avi Arad style, the way that, they were holding Marvel and having and Revlon and all that. Remember when Marvel was owned by Revlon? Listen, we're not getting into this. Iron Man Armored Adventures, thank you so much. So, the point. Amanda.
Yes.
You're a go-getter.
Yep.
You know what's going on.
Yep.
Today in the office, your assistant, he is he's a young man named, I've used that name before. He's a young man named Norman.
Great name.
Norman Burroughs is his name. He sort of comes into your office and says, excuse me, Miss Olsen. You wanted me to let you know about any other comic book shows, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he'll sort of close the door and say, So Miss Olsen, I know that this is probably the kind of thing that is a non-starter because of sort of the corporate stuff, but I have heard. Do you read many comic books, or do you know about comic books, Miss Olsen?
No, a few. Does she know a few?
So, have you heard of a comic book called Fireflight?
Is that a really violent one?
Yes, and he'll like pull out like an issue, and he'll show you like the cover of it, and it's foil printed, and it's like it's Bloodstar is a character who sort of Deadpool Deathstroke style has like a full coverage face mask with like mean looking eyes on it, but what he has the eponymous Bloodstar, which is a 5-pointed like weapon on his back that has like guns on all 5 points, but can also like spin around and can help him fly. Bloodstar, for the record, has appeared in a couple of episodes of Top Flight, and I know that KJ didn't care for his lack of hygiene based on how he wouldn't wipe the blood off of him after he killed people. So, the point is...
I feel like I generally avoid the violent
Understood.
stuff.
He'll say, right, well, so it is very violent, man, but it's also, this is the second biggest selling comic book of all time.
Well, something, I suppose.
And apparently they're at Fox Kids they've got this X-Men cartoon that so far is debuting, and you definitely know about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this, I think, is kind of has the potential to be the next, to be a big cartoon. The only problem is it is, of course, published by Superstar Comics, and I know there's kind of like a ban on working with them at the network. But I'm just worried that, if ABC if Fox gets this, they're going to dominate the mornings. But I just think that I know you were saying something that you wanted to appeal to boys, because we're at a time where cartoons are only for boys or girls. Very specifically.
Right, yes. I was hoping to find something a little less violent for the boys.
Understood. Well,
This is the popular thing.
This is the most popular thing. If you'd like to, I'm not sure that I can even get you a sort of meeting with them, since there is the moratorium, and I'm also not sure if they'd be open to it. But you can read this comic if you'd want to, just to kind of see if you think there's a way it could fit here. From what I hear, I know they have some good talent on it. He'll start saying some of like the, oh, would they though? I'm gonna roll for this. I'm rolling a D13 for this. This is 100% X-Men. It's like, so the thing is though, they've gone to this like Canadian company for the animation. So I don't know that it's like, they're already in production. They're like I said, it's either going to be syndicated, but I think they're open to being picked up by a network for the U.S. It's just it's very it's Montreal.
So they're already making it.
Exactly.
We just picking it up, which means some of the hard work's already done.
I think the designs are totally in the thing. I don't know. I just thought you should know about this, Miss Olsen.
No, good work. Good. Norman.
Norman.
Yeah. Good work, Norman. I think that's interesting. I did want something that would appeal to boys. It would be a fight, wouldn't it?
Well, and it might be terrible. It might be nothing. But like I said, it
Yeah, but if it is really popular, and you do want to compete with X-Men. Okay. Where would Amanda find more information?
Well, you'll have some ways to go about it. So your options would be to you could you know what you could do is you could, well, first of all, give me a luck roll, but Amanda is a very lucky person, which fits for a 29-year-old woman who's a major network executive in 1993.
Yep.
You know, part of her luck was, as you said, I'm sure there's some family connections. So that's good. So give me a luck roll.
Okay.
And this luck roll is going to be important because I suspect you'll succeed. You have an 80% chance of success. But getting like a hard success is going to get, like the higher degree, like the better degree of success you get here, the better it'll be. If you'd like to spend a power before you do this, you can have advantage on the roll. And I love the idea of a character who spends all their power simply on luck. That I'm so on board.
No, Philip, I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1?
You rolled a 1.
Well, okay. So what you've rolled is a vital success. So Amanda... Okay, so here's what we're going to say. Oh, shit, this is fun. All right.
Sorry, y'all. Puppy's going crazy in the background. You need more water?
Okay. And everybody out there watching, we're just having fun here. These one-on-one things are great. I always love these. These always do some interesting stuff. All right, so Liv, I have a question for you about Amanda Olsen. A 1 is a vital success. A 1.
Yep.
So basically, he says it's being done by. So we're gonna retcon something when he was just saying that. He was saying like it's being done by this like production house in Canada. It's a place called Q Time. Okay.
Okay.
Now Amanda, would Amanda have been? I mean, in the 90s, it would be less public and other things. Is Amanda probably more likely to have had a romantic tryst with a man or a woman up to this point?
Oh. Very good question.
Because Amanda's about to have, because what your 1 tells you is that your French Canadian lover runs this company, and and also because you have that would just be an extreme success, as you have a direct line to this. The 1 means it's an ex French Canadian lover who is still 100% in Le Tank for you.
Got it.
Like, you ended it.
Okay. I feel like Amanda, because it's me, would have for sure had experimented in college.
Sure.
Still doesn't quite admit it. Probably a male ex-lover. French Canadian.
Right. So,
that's
most common male men's names in Quebec.
Amazing. Amazing.
Ooh. Olivier. He's
That's
Olivier.
not confusing at all.
Oh, well, it won't be.
Olivier.
I'm Olivier. All right, so what would you rather it be? Edouard, but it's spelled Douard?
No, let's do Olivier.
Okay, so his name was Olivier, and French Canadian surname. Leclerc. Olivier Leclerc. Sounds like a goddamn hockey player is what he sounds like.
Leclerc does sound like a hockey player.
Making sure this isn't like a famous serial killer. Got it. Guys, always Google your names.
Always Google the name.
There's a lot of them out there, but I'm not seeing any red flags. Oh, there's a French billionaire businessman, but he's spelled very differently. All right, cool. So we're good. So, and you might call him Big O. Okay, so the point is,
he gave Big O.
When you hear this, however, Amanda,
yes,
you're like Q time. And he's like, I don't know, I just thought you might want to know. So he steps out, and you're like, well, I definitely can get all the information I want.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it?
They say Montreal's lovely this time of year.
What time of year is it?
Whatever time of year, Montreal is lovely.
I guess it's time to go on a little trip.
All right, so Amanda Olson books a first-class flight. She has Norman book her a first-class flight to Montreal.
Amazing.
When he does this, he's kind of like, oh wow, yes, of course. He's very excited. He feels like he gave you a huge tip, and now you're following up on it. He says, I'll say you're just traveling for personal reasons. Of course, kind of trying to keep it on the down low around, since you're sort of gonna try to, do some complex stuff. So,
navigating.
And as we listen to, God, what was I don't know, what's like a really big song from like 1992. I don't know. That's what you're listening to. Maybe some Annie Lennox, or I don't know, something like that.
Free Your Mind from In Vogue.
Sure.
Free Your Mind. In Vogue was big in '92. Jesus.
There you go. So yeah, you're gonna head to
jump around.
There we go. So basically, as you hop on this plane, we actually will say, though, it's lovely this time of year, but it will be like wintry because it's probably early in '93. So as you sort of fly there, oh my God, guys, is this episode turning into a '90s rom-com? I hope so. So basically, as you sort of fly there, you land in Montreal, and you are in town. Norman, of course, booked you a room at a very nice hotel. And you still have Olivier's phone number. You decided he wasn't, necessarily what you were looking for. He wanted more of a commitment.
Right.
But you did break his heart. And clearly you were both interested in entertainment to one degree for another. He runs this kind of animation company that probably mostly makes very weird French-Canadian cartoons. But they also, they do other things. So, how do you want to approach Amanda? You want to drop into the office? Hit the guy with a... You certainly know where their office is located. You just want to, like, drop in like a thunderbolt, like catch him totally off guard. You want to call him, ask to have drinks? Dinner? Are you gonna play it like this is all strictly business? What's the plan? And if you would like to, I will say you can make a read person roll on him from like your history with him.
Yes, I will do that.
And if you'd like to put some points into that, you could go up to 75 without penalty from you have 200 up there above. You actually could go all the way to 99 if you wanted to. It would cost you a lot, but it's a one-off game. Like,
let's bring it up to 70.
Okay.
I feel like she'd be good at reading, like, in order to get where she is.
I think she absolutely is great at reading person. Okay, cool. So we'll do that.
Okay.
I was thinking you could go high. I was saying like, go to 90. Who can burn it? Who cares?
Oh yeah, we never visit this person again. Wait, what's the penalty though if I go up? To 90?
After 75, it costs 2 points for every 1 point.
Oh, so instead of 1 point, it's 2.
So basically, you'd spend 5 more to get to 75, but then you'd have to spend 30 more to get to 90.
Let's just go to 75 then. I think that's good.
All right.
I feel like the dice have been kind to me.
Dice have been kind so far tonight. My God, with that 1. All right. So with a 75. You may make a read person roll. This is a sort of retroactive one, remembering his energy, remembering his love of poutine, remembering the way he'd get so frustrated at a lacrosse game. Do you have any more?
Oh, that's 69.
You rolled a 69?
Yes!
That has to count special for this. Wow. Okay, well, click the box because you succeeded. And apparently so did he.
Dice are very, very, very in a mood today.
Dice are cheeky tonight.
Cheeky.
Well, a 69 means... a 69, Amanda, means you know that this man is a very visual person. So if you put on your sort of like most revealing but still clearly a business suit look, and you show up there, you will have him.
He'll be, yep. And plus, if I show up at the office, I can play it off purely as a business thing because
Sure.
we don't want to get him. I don't want to break his heart too badly. I mean, my gosh, I'm going to use every advantage I have, but I don't want to actually hurt the guy. He was nice to me.
Oh man, oh Jesus, this is gonna be a disaster and a half. Poor bastard. Oh, that's poor French Canadian bastard. Oh, Olivier.
He's French. He can take.
He can take it. No, it means he feels so much more deeply. The French Canadian's a different accent than French.
That's true.
I don't know how well I can do it, but we'll try. All right, so
I believe.
as you march yourself over, you put on absolute. I mean, also, I think you do look pretty good here. Should we roll for? Should we roll for how you gussy yourself up, or is that just a thing she's capable? Like, does that need to be rolled for?
I feel like she's probably good at it.
All right, fair enough. I won't. Yeah.
But we can.
Nah, it's cool. You go to Q Time Studios. You walk in. There is a receptionist at the front desk. A woman, she looks at you and instantly has a look of disdain on her face because you're attractive. And it's the 90s, so we can use mean stereotypes about women not supporting each other.
Oh, in the 90s, women hated each other.
Yeah, they were all mean. Especially French Canadian ones. Oh, boy.
We hated women back in the 90s, man, and it was cool to hate other women. Every other rom-com was about how much better one woman was over the other.
Yeah. The guy's girlfriend at the beginning was a real monster. All right, so you walk in and she sort of looks up and you're looking very serious, but you also are clearly a very sort of, professionally dressed person. So she kind of, she'll sort of straighten up a bit and say, can I help you?
Oh yes, I'm here on a bit of a surprise visit, but I was hoping to get some time with Olivier.
Oh,
What's his last name again?
Leclerc.
Oh, Mr. Leclerc.
Oh, well, she kind of pauses in a way of like, well, Mr. Leclerc is very busy. You don't have an appointment?
No, but I'm sure he'll make time for me. Could you just tell him Amanda Olsen is here?
Hold on. I'm going to do a luck roll to see if she knows that name, because she would maybe know the name of, executives. One moment. She sort of picks up the phone and calls back to some other person and says, can you please let him know that an Amanda Olsen has dropped by to see him? And she sort of, I like your shoes.
Oh, thank you.
Ring, ring, ring. Eh? Oh, you, one moment, please. And, suddenly kind of not bursting out of the bullpen, but heading out of the bullpen is Olivier Leclerc. And he looks great. Let me tell you. He's got just the right amount of sort of maple soaked stubble, just the right kind of I'm sure he's in a flannel, because this is sort of before grunge would have been the biggest thing, but I feel like in Canada it was already happening in a non-grunge way. The point is, he shows up and sees you and is like, oh, I wasn't sure she'd heard the name right. Hello, Amanda. Please give me a charm roll. You want to put some points into this?
Oh, yeah. Charm Persuade. Yeah. Let's bring that up to a 70.
70.
So let's make it 75. Fuck it.
75. Why not? All right. Roll it.
All right. I'll roll that beautiful beam footage.
Oh, God, I do.
46.
46, a success. You look great. You don't, though you look fantastic. You've kind of showed up. He's very excited, and you definitely read him well. 69. So you knew to come here, but you haven't it's not kind of he's very happy to see you, but he's keeping it.
He's
together.
holding his own composure.
Yeah,
he's grown a bit.
He does, however, come over and kiss you on both cheeks.
Well, of course.
Say, Amanda, it's really good to see you. Would you like to come? What are you doing in town?
Well, actually, I'm here hoping to talk to you about a little cartoon that I'm hoping to bring to the States.
Oh, yeah, of course. We're kind of pauses and so yes, please come right in. Let me show you to my office. And he
Sorry,
will.
give me one moment. I've got to take her down and put her in her house.
You're good.
She's being crazy.
All good. So. Thanks for it. And does he smell of maple syrup and Tim Hortons? I see that, James from Texas. The answer is, I mean, probably. I think that's the vibe. And smells of and woodworking. I bet he smells of woodworking. If I'm being honest. So, well. Let's come up with another person, by the way, for this thing. There's a couple of other rolls to do, so I'm gonna roll some things here on my little ring.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I thought maybe she wanted water, but she just wants attention.
Okay, cool.
Never enough attention for her. Okay. So yes,
then...
I'm just here about a little cartoon that I'm hoping to bring to America, and it just kind of happened to bring me to your door.
Yes, please, yeah, come on back. Just this way to my office. He'll kind of lead you in. Now, as you walk into this bullpen, I need Amanda to make a look roll as your eyes scan about.
Okay. Where's my look at? Is it 50?
Look is currently 50.
Let's bring that up to 60.
Okay. A more modest increase for look. I get it. Make your roll.
Oof, 94.
Well, not a fumble, but you try to look around the bullpen to see if you catch sight of any sort of bits of intel on this Fireflight show that you're hoping to get your hands on. Sadly, and perhaps intentionally, you are being led in a way where you're not really getting a good look. You can tell there is a big board with some artwork on it, but you're not able to see any of it. Soon you are in his office. It is very nice. He has a very pretty assistant outside of his office at his own, at her own desk. Like the personal assistant secretary kind of thing. He's sort of as he walks past her, he'll say, "Marie, hold my calls," and sort of lead you in.
Can I just smile and do this as I want?
Sure. Marie, looking at you. Ooh, give me a detect vibe. No, a detect read person. You're already good at it. Yeah, it's more read person.
54.
With a 54, you don't think Marie is into this guy.
Okay.
She's probably into. She probably likes much skinnier, chain smoking. She's real into little art boys. I don't know why I wanted to roll on that, but that's important for you to know. So you go in and Olivier, and his office is immaculate, just like his home always was. He's a very fastidious guy. But he very sort of, gallantly pulls a chair out and kind of sits in it, and then he kind of he does the thing where he'll he'll sit on the front of his desk, so you can be kind so it's kind of more close, but not whatever.
Right. I can visualize this exactly.
Yeah. He's it is a flannel, and it's well, yes. So Amanda, what it is? I'm really happy to see you after so long. I'm surprised you just drop in.
Well, sorry, and I probably should have called made an appointment. To be honest, I wasn't sure if you'd want to see me, and then.
Please, I'm always happy to see you. Do you want a tea, a coffee, a latte? I can have Marie make something for you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Do you have any sweeteners for?
Well, of course, yes. Coffee, tea. What would you like?
Maple syrup and
You ask for maple syrup?
In the coffee.
Okay. He'll step out and he'll be like, Maria, can we get my guest a coffee with maple syrup, please? And Marie will say, okay.
A maple syrup latte. Those are good, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't care.
She said, all right. And so he'll kind of, he'll sort of sit and say, so yeah, or kind of lean, you know, no, of course I would take any call from you. Amanda, I think of you often, so I'd always be happy to sort of, you know, encounter you again. What, so there's a program you were maybe hoping for us to animate. We're sort of, we have a couple of shows in process now, but I'm sure we can find the time for you.
Sorry, Tobin was being crazy. So this company, they're the ones making it, or do I need to go to them to get the rights?
They are animating it for Superstar.
Got it. Well, you're already animating it. Are you familiar with Fireflight?
Oh, Amanda, I'm familiar with it. Yes, we are already in production on our second episode.
How's it going?
Give me another charm. Charm persuade the man.
Ooh, 39.
39. Oh, 39. That is a...
All right, I'll spend 2
Spend
to get
2
it
precious luck. Take it down to...
7.
You'll go down to 78, but you will get that to a hard. So with a hard success, and you've already checked it, so it doesn't matter. Spend all the luck you need. God, maybe I don't know if it's just naturally happening or if you're like a genius, but like you can see the way the light's entering, so you just like lead in a way where you're just like.
I just like perfectly lit, and then I know he likes my collarbone, so I just like.
Oh God. I'm putting it in his canon now. He really likes Amanda's collarbone. So as you start like tracing your clavicle, and he's kind of like staring at you as you're sort of asking about, you know, how this show's going. Kind of leaning forward slightly, the light like giving you a perfect rim light from behind. He is fully tongue-tied. Then the door opens, and Marie comes in with a nice maple latte for you, which she hands to you, and he kind of snaps out of his reverie and says, "Merci, Marie." She'll walk out. He says, "So, our animation is going well. There is a." I will say that Edouard Masson is our visual artist, and that's probably a name you might have heard before, just like in terms of like, you know, you probably know major animator design people, and his designs will be and you can actually see that like, you know, your guy here is like looking at his desk for a moment, almost like he kind of reaches back and sort of, you know, pulls a couple of files over, and he sort of pulls a thing, and he'll hand you a design. Sort of one of those, you know, like the sheet that has like the main, I think it's called I'm not sure if it's called a format, but it's basically the thing that has like the character from the front and from like a few different angles, you know, just kind of showing you the model. I don't know. Animation model sheet. Model sheet is what it's called. Yeah. So we'll hand you a model sheet. It's interesting because it's not there's two schools of thought on kind of like what makes interesting animation, you know. Is it do you go, you know, detail can kind of look better, but then in motion can be sort of complicated. This is not sort of like a Bruce Timm style, incredibly streamlined, simplified, kind of reduced to stuff. There's a almost grittiness to it, and yet it's there's something striking about the sort of design. You definitely prefer this to the look of that foil printed comic book that Norman showed you in your office. He sort of says, so yes, as you can see, where I'm pretty happy with our design. It's a little different, but I think it will make an impact, and in motion it is looking good. I can tell you that the scripts, which we are not sort of you know, we are just the animators, but the scripts are they're it is my opinion they're sort of better than they need to be. The characters are all very, I don't know, is this a comic book you've read?
I would have read some of it coming up, even though.
If you read some on the plane,
Yeah.
then Amanda, this is a mild, kind of flashbacky thing. I would love for you to give me an analyze roll.
Okay.
As you read it. And would you like to put points in this beforehand?
I think analyze, yeah, I'll put some, yeah. Like, what else in intellect would I probably be using? Analyze and...
It's analyze and research, realistically.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring that up to, like, where am I at?
You have 140 left.
140 still? Alright, let's go ahead and bring that up to 70.
Great. Okay, make the roll.
Ooh, and I'm glad I did it. 68.
Wow, you are skating a lot of the time here. I will say that in your analysis of this, so that basically for you, that means you were able to sort of get past the ultraviolence. There is an interesting quality to the Fireflight comic book. There was an element to it you were not sort of ready for, which is that though it is very violent, there are some like stupidly like violent, shoot 'em up sequences. The characters of this team they're much more thoughtful than you were expecting. And there seem to be some interesting thematic ideas. And it's definitely a little bit like elevated for like children. And yet sometimes it's good not to talk down to kids. It's good to kind of propose this thing. And it seems to be a story about how do you deal with people who disagree with you? And it's not only, the answer seems to not only just be shoot them, and there seems to be a lot of even Bloodstar is frustrated that things so often turn to violence, and that it's kind of this it's this meditation on, you get some big, some Vietnam vet wrote this for sure. There is some element, maybe even Norman could have told you that. This was probably written by someone who has an interesting kind of, in some ways it reads like a war comic. It's very anti-war in certain ways. It's very much kind of trying to say this is a thing that Bloodstar says, which is weird, is that every time I use my weapon, it's a failure, and I fail all the time. That's what he sort of says. That's kind of a philosophical point. Yeah.
She's not crazy about the ultraviolence,
no.
But this is an interesting way to go about exploring it. Yeah, I'm a little familiar. I've read some of them, not all up to date, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would. I don't think you need to read too much of the comic, but the character, Bloodstar, and the others, Scorched Earth is a character who is a character. The only thing I know is they say character, by the way, because when I had a call with a French Canadian guy, he kept saying character, and I didn't know what he was saying until halfway through. I was like, I know what this guy's saying. So, but the character is he's and he shows you the artist Scorched Earth, who's another guy on the team. You remember him from the comic. There's also Smolder Baby, who's kind of their pinup, person, and she is drawn very sexually, but you would expect nothing less from Olivier's studio.
Right.
But sort of he shows you and says, yeah, but the characters, they're very it's a sort of and it's the story so far, it's adapting I think it's adapting some part of the comic, but it's also the writer of it, he's creating a very different sort of energy to it. They're trying to do something special with it, but we are just trying to, at this point we're just kind of getting into it. There's going to be a lot of work, but we're interested in what we are creating. How's your maple latte?
Familiar and good.
Zuthalor. So yeah, anyway. Familiar and good, she says. Jeez.
Amanda's such a bitch.
Maple latte is familiar and good. But because my belief is that these sort of Superstar Studios was hoping to sell this into a syndication package, but is this something you think your network is interested in?
I think we would be interested in it. I know it would be it's a bit of a contested issue, isn't it? But
yes, I to be honest, he sort of takes the pages back, hands brush for a moment. He sort of sets them down and says, to be honest, I am probably even breaking some rule, just even letting you see the artwork for this, since you're sort of a known, you would be almost assuredly a competitor of whoever puts out this series in the United States.
Well, unless we put it out. But
I mean, with your companies, isn't there they were explaining that there's sort of that they had already tried to make a deal with Fox in your country, and they were not interested since they already have the X-Men. They said that ABC and NBC was trouble. They said CBS was a potential, but then they said that PPN, where you work, because I follow you in your trade papers, they said you are a non-starter because of a corporate ban on collaboration on projects because of previous ownerships or something. I try not to follow business. I'm an artist at heart.
Yeah, but think about how great then it would be to say that we can finally bring them home.
Oh God, you fucking monster. Let's see. Okay, you're gonna do another charm persuade, unless there's another thing you'd want to do. But realistically, that's what it is.
I think that works.
You're gonna do charm persuade. This is a huge important charm persuade. You absolutely need a hard success. You need a hard success to get your foot in the door. You need an extreme success to like bring this home right now. You can buy, you can spend one of your power to get a advantage on this if you'd like.
Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
So that means I get to roll twice, yeah?
Get to roll twice, but you only roll the ones column stays the same. You just read the tens column. You get to choose.
10th column can change, so I can, if I roll a 92 or a 98, I can take the 92.
Yeah.
Or a 92 or an 8.
A 90, if you, basically, you'd roll a 92 or a 72. The two won't change.
Oh, okay.
Are you rolling physical dice, or are you rolling on a roller?
I'm rolling on a roller.
Okay, tell you what. You roll on the roller, I will roll your backup.
Okay.
So you just roll one, and I'll roll your backup here. Damn. What'd you got?
31.
31. Well, I've rolled a 10. That's an 11.
Oh, shit. Okay.
There you go. Your sparkly friend here.
Oh, the dice are like really feeling
dice are into this vibe tonight. So basically, one thing that also I kind of let you do this before you're going to make the ask to know it's kind of a fine. But basically what you can say is you're like if I could see the first episode, then I'd know if it's something I could like fight for to bring it home or whatever.
Right. Okay.
So how do you ask to watch the episode? What unfair technique do you use?
Oh man. Oh. So mean. Okay, ask like maybe I know I couldn't possibly leave with the tapes, but maybe we could watch the first episode together and just talk about it and see if it seems like a good idea or not.
Oh, I suppose if we watch it here, then that is
entirely on the up and up. Then I'm not.
And I certainly
I won't take any pictures or have any sort of video camera or anything.
I'm sure your input would be appreciated. Just okay, fine. Let me yes, we have a rough assembly. It is not complete, and there's some temp dialogue and such. But
of course.
okay. Mary, he'll kind of step out, and Marie's at the desk, and he says, could you please prepare, I'd like to show the Fireflight pilot in one of our screening rooms. Is Edward here right now? Could you send him just to say hello as well? And he'll sort of stand back there, hands in pockets, kind of looking at you. Yes, all right, well, okay, we can watch it, I suppose.
Thank you. I really appreciate this. I know it's just a complete surprise, and I'm probably completely disrupting your day, and
I mean, disruption is when it's a problem, when it's a bad thing. Not so much. In any case, he kind of, isn't sure, and Marie kind of gives him things. Says, "All right, they're setting it up in our screening room. Come this way, please." As you're sort of walking out, just another sort of French Canadian dude. This guy, he's on the younger side. He's probably the kind of guy that Marie would be like, let's throw around the hockey puck.
Super into.
But as this guy walks up, and he's kind of this like younger dude. He's got a really, really like goofy little goatee. He says, yes, Edward, this is Amanda Olsen. She is an old friend, and she's in the business. So we're going to be showing her the pilot. And Edward will say, listen, ignore. I know that the design, I know that Scorched Earth, there's some problems. We're still working on it, okay?
Oh, that's fine.
We haven't figured out the glow yet, but we're close, okay?
That's fine. I don't expect it to be perfect.
The South Korean company is sending us the artwork, and I'm really trying to get on them for it, because this has, we want this to be better.
Sure, of course. Don't.
All right, Edward. Okay, and he kind of walks away. I just want you to meet him, but I don't think I'll invite him to view with us here this way. And he
seems really concerned about the animation.
The animation is looking fine. This company you are coming to from South Korea, they're doing much better work than I was expecting them to do, sort of up to this point. And we're handling certain elements of it in house as well. But he is doing all our own storyboarding. But he is perfectionist,
Oh.
And this one character, the Scorched Earth, he has this. I think even in the comic book there is a glow that he has, kind of the sort of. The sort of heat that he's putting off, and in this it's just he's not happy with it. So yes, so he'll sort of lead you into this little room. It's like a little screening room. The seats are comfortable. Somebody in there's about to putting like a Betamax tape into or not Betamax, it goes with SVHS at this point. Putting like one of those bigger, bulkier tapes that you use in production. Into like a projector in this room. And there's a couple of chairs. I don't know if you're gonna he will allow you to sort of dictate where you guys are gonna sit.
What is the chair setup like?
I think there are like a couple of rows of chairs, and they're not like movie theater chairs, but they're a little more comfortable than they're like office chairs, but not like spinny ones. That kind of vibe. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. So I'll just...
did you want something else?
No, that works. I'll just grab one that's like center-ish.
Okay. He'll kind of he'll sort of pause and sit. He'll sit next to you.
Yeah.
Like that. And the intern will start playing the show. They don't have an intro yet, so you're not going to get some kind of like cool, opening thing. But it does open with it's a big like sort of shoot 'em up. Now you do notice, and this is a big thing that was happening in a lot of these 90s stuff, for some reason everyone's weapons are lasers instead of bullets, which is nice, because then it's like, it's kind of just a little less brutal, kind of people just get, but it opens with Fireflight, kind of like there seem to be some bad guys robbing a bank. And Fireflight swoop in and sort of save the day. But even in that opening scene, when like Bloodstar like bursts in through the window, he does try to talk to the bad guys first, and he does it kind of, and it's whoever's doing it is doing like a real sort of like Clint Eastwood-esque, you know, where he's kind of like, listen, you see who I am, you know my name, you know this isn't gonna go well for you, drop your guns, that's your best, you know, kind of that sort of vibe. And it's kind of corny, but it's, you know, it's cool that he's like, and they're like no way, and he's like, I knew you were gonna say that, and then they, you know, take the bad guys out, etc., etc. The show is, it's temp, but there, you definitely will see while watching it, there's something to it. There is a spark of some kind of, like, there's something interesting about it. There is something about the way that it's about this character, you know, kind of like grappling with like their role in the world, and how there's like bad guys they have to fight, and how like they just kind of want to like stop their fighting, but they, you know, like they're called to do it. It feels sort of like mature, sort of, even though it ultimately is a vehicle to sell toys. It's the vibe. It's probably not the show you would have developed.
No, but it hits the spot for that.
Yeah, and tell you what, do a detect,
Or...
and it's a different thing. Let's do a detect vibe on it.
Okay. Here, let's go ahead and bump that up to 62 while we're at it.
62?
Oh, 60 in addition.
Oh, 60 as well. I was like, I love their specificity. Let's do it. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll go take that one to 60. All right, make your roll.
Oh, 83. Not a good one for that one.
You can spend a point to re-roll if you'd like.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's
It's
do
850, so I mean, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah,
there you go. Go for
roll. Oh, 6.
A 6, mildly better. Go ahead and click it. Yes, I will say that Amanda, this is not the show you'd make. It's kind of sloppy. It's weird. Now, also, you do notice there's a lot of stuff where you're like, you're probably already thinking of it sort of possessively of like, oh, well, we can re-record that dialogue. We can make this scene, but, you know, we can trim this. You're already kind of like,
fix that piece, and
you're like, we can fix it already. But yeah, but as you go through it, it's not bad. And with a 6, it could really be a thing. It could give, it would be such a different kind of cartoon. It could cover
our X-Men, but different.
Yes, a different sort of vibe, but like it could really give you like a different sort of thing. You also, though, as you're watching it, there is a part of you that's like, I'll say it wasn't in there now. The other thing you're like, maybe not in this one, but you're like, there needs to be a love triangle with these 3 characters. Like, even though it's for boys, you're like, we need to bring in like some soapy kind of stuff. Like that'll give it some shape.
Of course.
Between Smolder Baby, Scorched Earth, and Bloodstar. So you're about halfway through. I don't think he's necessarily even shooting his shot at this point, but Olivier does like lean in close to you and kind of, not that he needs to whisper, not like you're in like a you know, no one else is watching it, but he kind of will quietly say like, this is the sequence that Edward is so upset about right here, you know. And he's kind of like, you know, he's like, as he turned, he's almost like put a hand on your back or something, you know, to say that. And as he turns back to watch it, he doesn't necessarily pull it away immediately.
I'll just nod and go, oh, okay, yeah, let's, I'll lean forward and not address the fact that he's
Yeah.
And just be very, like, focused on
analyzing the show. The episode ends. Yeah, you, like you said, you feel like it could be a thing. Could be a thing for you guys.
Yeah.
He'll sort of stand up, go turn on the lights and say, yeah, I mean, so if you think this is something you can fight for, I I'm sure that they would be very happy to I know that it would be better for it to be on a network than in syndication. Much easier to sort of, sell the packages and things, but I was under the impression it was impossible with your company and them.
Well, do I have a sense of like how I could fight for this or make it happen?
Give me another luck roll.
Oh, luck. Okay. 34.
34, that's a hard success still for you, even with you lowering it. You do, in fact, think you have one angle. You have one angle you could try. Because, Olivier is a guy who you have a romantic history with. You're able to get your foot in the door here because of it. But a friend of yours does work for Superstar. They are more seeming to be in like the live action area of things. But you suspect, based on things you've heard, that Superstar is not in the best shape financially. The comics boom that is going on right now is kind of costing them a lot of money. They're not as solvent as they seem. They're not in the perfect position to do this. And something that you know is that if you guys said, oh, well, we'll pay for the show. If you paid for the show outright.
Right.
Which, based on the success of Cool Koalas, you could probably do. You might be able to float that offer to them and potentially end the long-time embargo on PBN and Superstar.
So I'll just lean forward and go, I mean, if we paid for it. Paid for it.
Oh, well, yeah, I think that could maybe be a thing. We're, to be honest, we're sort of, we've been paid for some of what we're doing, but we are mildly concerned that they're not going to be able to sort of pay for all the animation that we've already performed.
Sorry, just
Go ahead.
just Amanda would make some comment about like, I think this means we'd have to be working closely together on this, with each season. Is that?
You fucking monster. All right, go ahead and do another charm persuade, I guess.
Not that she needs to.
Yeah, I like it. Like, this is like he's not involved in this decision. I love people.
43.
It's a success, not a heart, but yeah, he'll unless you want to spend 6 luck.
No. Fine. It's just this way he'll help champion it.
Yeah, he'll kind of say, I certainly Actually, you know what? That'll make him sort of say, okay, well, if that's going to be a legitimate offer on the table, then I will probably really recommend they do this because I'm there. I was sort of things are going well with the program, but we are concerned about sort of distribution and financing it and actually getting paid. So, if your company is able to pay for it, then it would absolutely that would change things a lot.
Yeah, I think we definitely will. I think this could really be a thing.
Well, I love things. I love when things are things. All right. Well, yeah. I will await. I hope that things work out for you. Obviously, this is not my decision, but I hope you're able to contact them and hope you can make something of this that we could work together. How long are you going to be in town, Amanda?
How long will she be in town?
That's up to Amanda. You flew here on a whim. You could go to the airport right now if you wanted to, or if you want to get railed by a French Canadian, you could stay all night.
I think so she's gonna tell him I'm just here for the night.
Please say your whole night is not spoken for. There is a. Do you remember that bistro we used to go to?
Is it still open?
Oh yes. Believe me, he's like way too close. He's like, oh, it will always be open.
And Amanda will say, well, I guess it's only fair. I mean, I've kept you from your work, and you'll probably have to work late, so I guess I I certainly would owe you a dinner for this.
Oh, you owe me nothing, but to have your company for just a little longer would be all right. Be a wonderful thing. I will have Mary make us a reservation.
Perfect. 9?
Oh. Yes. We. He's like breathing so heavily, but he'll then go and open the door of this room. Oh, Amanda.
Amanda is evil.
I mean, I don't know. Is she evil?
In the best way.
And with that, on the machinations of a 29-year-old children's television network executive, the future of the Superstar Comics Hollywood sort of productions and the storied premier broadcast network. Give me one last luck roll.
All right. Come on, dice.
Do you want to spend one to get a bonus on it?
Nope, don't need to.
Oh God, what'd you get?
I rolled a 15.
That is on the line with a 15.
Jesus Christ.
With a 15.
Straight up, I rolled a 15. I'm not kidding.
That's perfect. That's the for those viewing, or that is 15 is the extreme success thing.
Like literally the number I needed.
So you had a vital success that your ex-lover was in charge of this thing, and you were able to get all this intel. You had a hard success to get to the point that you were able to kind of like know that someone's up to this, whatever. But with an extreme success. Perhaps maybe we'll revisit Amanda Olsen at some point.
I feel like we have to now.
But I think that, so it's for love of this. Now, what's interesting to me is that Amanda Olsen, because you just did this, Amanda Olsen, what that final luck roll said is, this deal goes through, and Fireflight is on PBN Junior. You get it onto your network. You break the embargo that has been going on for basically 30 years.
Yeah.
So well done. I wonder what that means for Amanda Olsen's future
At PBN.
And, is Amanda Olsen going to be a sort of, like, is she going to be responsible for some, like, whatever movie studio PBN is connected to? Are they going to maybe finally make a good movie of these, are they finally going to put out a good, like, Meridian movie? Is there a Meridian movie in the 90s produced by Amanda Olsen, that unlike the 70s one is, like, really good? Yeah. That's the vibe. Possibilities.
Amazing.
Well, and the main question is, does she hook up with Olivier?
I feel like they for sure hook up. The question is, do they have a future or not?
Oh man, I bet they don't. I bet he thinks they do so bad. I bet they have such good sex, and then she leaves the next day, and they don't work closely together on this show like she said they would, because she's in Hollywood. They just do phone calls every now and again. Oh, Olivier's life is bad. Never fall for an American woman.
Maybe it's like the Before trilogy.
Then eventually they have two French Canadian twins. Little girls at the end.
Poor Olivier.
Olivier, he's got it bad. Whatever. Amanda knows what she's doing.
But the French love romance and heartbreak. Like, that's the thing.
Oh my god, he gets off on it so bad. Well,
the
very good.
The pain makes it sweeter.
She is as sweet as maple syrup. My bistro is always open for her. And she's my little maple latte. Well, thank you, everyone. Happy Easter, everybody. We appreciate you guys.
He is risen again.
I am risen. I have rolled my rock to the side. Any doubting Thomases may put their hand into this to my wound.
It was resurrected.
Very resurrected.
With a
Oh, well, there we go. Well, thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We have other games on this channel. Join us on Monday at... You're French Canadian? Is this just offensive? Is everything I've done tonight just straight up offensive, Kern 3?
Oh, we're so sorry. Well, hopefully this was entertaining for you and not
Olivier Leclerc.
Not horrendous.
Am I right about the word character? Not everything. Okay, not everything was offensive. That's good, but mostly.
Sorry.
Also, Montreal is such a beautiful city. How can you not fuck American, network executives if you live there? It's so pretty. Ugh. Well, that's it. That's the biggest reveal of the night, I think. Is that Kurt 3? It's like, by the way, I'm French Canadian.
The latte was because the best latte I've ever had in my life. It was in Minnesota, not Canada, but close. They're on the border, and it was a maple syrup, molasses, black pepper latte.
Oh.
It was amazing, and they put like bitters in it too. It was like really good.
Much better flavors than just like Starbucks syrup or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man, poor Olivier.
Sorry, Country. Hope we weren't offensive.
I mean,
well, I got Philip, not me. I was just being.
No, you were fine. I was trouble. Whatever. I like Olivier Leclerc. This guy's cool though. He's a cool guy.
It's great. This is a great throwaway.
Very good. Well, thank you all so much. This was fun. So we have some other games on our channel. On Monday nights, we have the Dreamlands. Now, I believe that it is still an incredibly close vote. I think that as of... I'll actually check the tally right now. I think that right now, Many Far Wiser Than Weed is winning by 1. It is that neck and neck. Galanorian Saber voted for Many Far Wiser Than We, and that put it at a 1. So, it's a close one. It's a barn burner. We'll see what that ends at midnight. It ends at midnight Pacific time, so in 2 hours and 53 minutes for anyone watching live. That is the end of voting for that. So check that out if you can. But tomorrow night we'll do whichever one wins. Even though it's April 1st and Pierce suggested I do whichever one loses. And I said, that's rude. I'm just going to do which one wins. I don't celebrate April 1st. I'm not an April Fool's guy. I do enough fooling year round. On Wednesday, we are in with the thing about the comic book universe. They're doing all this in Top Flight Tales. On Friday, we're back with more Blood from a Stone to see what happens. What did those dwarves delve too deep and unlock? Now that they're about to be attacked by a horror surge from below. It's fun stuff.
God, yeah, that's right.
So yeah, come check that out. And then on a week from tonight, we're back with more Here Be Dragons. So yeah, and then 2 weeks from tonight, more of this. We might finally have Liv and Lauren back together, and we can see what's going on with Cora and Louise and Ted.
Can't wait to tell Lauren about tonight.
Oh no, I think Laura needs to know about tonight. So yeah, well, thank you all so much. Hello, Decoder98. Yes, Midnight Pacific, and yeah, just 3 hours, little under 3 hours. So yeah, we can. If you want us to vote on that, you can. Is Emma on the X-Men 97 yet? James from Texas asks. She has not appeared yet. Although she does appear in the opening credits, but I believe has for the whole time.
She's in the opening credits. No, she was not in the opening credits
in the original one. She wasn't. Okay.
No.
Who was it?
No,
Who did she replace?
Mystique, and then a bunch of Mystiques. Like, there were like random people. There was that one guy who's not even. I watched a thing. I'll send a thing to you. There was one character who like never even really, I think, shows up in X-Men, who was in the opening credits because they didn't know who the heck they were putting in the show yet.
Very interesting.
Hold on.
but it
I'll
wasn't.
find it.
Yeah, current
Anyway,
Right Lord will definitely have some vicarious fun when she hears of what happened in this episode.
Yeah, I think there were villains that didn't make sense to have in there. Oh yeah, Gargoyle, who was a Hulk.
Yeah.
In it.
They're just like, what's that?
And never even shows up in the X-Men.
Green Man, the animation.
Yeah, so Emma Frost was never in it, so now they put her in
because you gotta have Emma Frost.
They're for sure bringing her back, although I don't know that it'll happen this season.
Sure.
But
well, check out X-Men 97, everybody. It's really good, just for the record. Go to our so let's see. I was supposed to do this when I was saying the schedule, but I was talking. So there's our schedule. Here's our social stuff. Go to our Discord to interact with us. Vote on that downtime for tomorrow's games I was talking about. Go to our YouTube to watch old episodes. Go to our wiki to read about how all these things interact so crazily. I don't know. You got anything else to reference there, Liv, about the world?
Well, Dakota just said, "Why does Amanda look familiar?" Dakota, do you watch our other games? Do you watch? Was that a joke? Why does Amanda look familiar?
Where would I know her from? Yeah.
Amanda, me? I look familiar? I'm just trying to figure out what this question is.
Oh, they are new.
Oh, you're new.
She's famous on the channel for sure, and in some other areas too.
I was on the last season of Star Trek Picard, but I don't think you'd know me from there.
There you go. But yeah, well, but thank you for joining us. For James from Texas, how's Blood from a Stone going? It's going fun. They're still in Ignador. Things are picking up. We've lost some people, gained some people, just in terms of death has not been happening as much as I thought it would. I probably need to make things a little more lethal, actually, because this is supposed to be a deadly area. So far, we've only had one die. Although, some more might die real soon at the beginning of Friday. Come check it out.
Yeah, Friday's
gonna be a grim tiding. Well, thank you all so much for watching. This has been a lot of fun. Until next time, to be continued.